So your child is non-speaking, maybe they use an AAC, like an iPad, or they spell or type, or maybe they don't quite yet. Communication is extremely important, but today I'm going to make a case for one thing that I'd argue is just as important as communication. And here's the twist. It's actually the secret to unlocking the communication too. So let's dive in. Hi, I'm Dr. Dana Johnson, and every single week I sit with families working through the hard stuff. And over, I've watched this one thing change everything for families, for daily life and for communication. So let me show you what it is. Now, by the end of this video, you'll know three things. The one skill that's just as important as communication, why it matters, and why you build it daily. And my favorite part, how to actually do it without adding one more exhausting thing to your already full to-do list. Now, here's what I notice often. Families whose priorities are centered around getting their child to communicate often forget about the other things that may be actually having an impact on them building their communication skills. So here's my question to them and then to you right now. What about everything else in their life? What about the daily living stuff like brushing their teeth, getting dressed, the hobbies, sports, playing, and social, like friendships? Guess what all of those have in common with communication? Every single one of them requires the exact same thing that makes communication hard. Endurance, stamina, regulation, body control. Communication isn't a separate skill. It runs on the same engine as everything else that your child wants to do. And that engine is intentional motor planning. It's not just about communication. So much of it is about building the motor control to communicate, and then to do all the other things that they actually want to do. So here's how I want you to look at this and what's happening inside your child. Think about the communication between your brain or their brain and their body as a wire. And right now, none of the wire is connected. The brain sends the message and it can't actually reach the body to carry it out. So the very first time that they do something like put on their shoes or press the button on their device or try to get from the bathroom to their bedroom, their body genuinely cannot follow through on demand when you ask them. But it's not because they don't want to. Is because the wire isn't hooked up yet. But here's the exciting thing. Every single time that they practice a movement on purpose, which is the key, they connect one more strand of that wire. So when they keep doing it again and again, over and over, that connection gets stronger until the light actually switches on. And then the more that they practice, the more the light will stay on. That's what building motor skills does. Every intentional repetition connects the wiring a little more. So why build these skills throughout the day and not just in one therapy session once a week, or even outside of when you're practicing using your AAC? Because your child needs to feel what it's like to control their body all the time. And when you just limit it to the times that they're working on their communication, whether it's spelling or typing, or in their speech therapy session, that's not going to be enough. And when you live in a body that goes completely rogue on you, that occasionally just figures that it has somewhere better to be, you can't just flip a switch and turn the motor planning on. It doesn't work that way. But when they practice the everyday stuff on purpose, three things happen. They build motor control, including endurance and stamina, which is essential for communication no matter what method you use. If you're having to write an essay as a college student, or you want to sit and have a conversation with a friend, you need endurance and stamina to be able to do that. They build regulation, that calm, steady feeling in their body, and this is a big one, they're connecting the very same wiring when they're working on those daily living skills as their brain uses to use their AAC device, to spell, to type. So every time your child intentionally carries a cup to the sink, they're not just doing a chore, they're paving the road to building so much more. So if you're currently doing things for your child, let's think about that. Think about how when they actually do things for themselves, they're actually helping to build those motor plans. Now, I know the absolute last thing that you want to hear from me right now is to add something to your already crazy busy day. Now, I get it. I totally get it, but hear me out on this because this is the good news. You don't need to add 10 things. You don't need to work on this for every single thing that they're doing. You just start with one that they already do. And pick a single task, like maybe it is taking out the trash or emptying the forks and spoons from the dishwasher. It could be just carrying their plate from the table to the sink. Any one small thing is a great place to start. And then you motor coach each step, not tell them the goal, like go put your plate away or go put the fork in the drawer. You want to break it down, like get your eyes on your plate, reach for your plate, turn your body, bring your foot forward, get your eyes on the sink. You want to work through every single thing. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then check out this video here on motor coaching, and it goes through all the information and ideas and strategies to help you be successful at coaching their body. Now, do not try to coach everything at once. You're gonna overwhelm yourself and you're gonna overwhelm your child. Nothing will stick, and this will be very dysregulating. Just pick one task. Once they've got it, then you can move on to the next one. Remember, one movement at a time. Because here's what's really happening. Every single time that your child gets to practice something on purpose, no matter what it is, they are one step closer to doing it on their own. And that's the thing that I wanted you to walk away with. The skill that's just as important as communication. It's the intentional motor control that lives underneath all of it. You don't have to choose between teaching them to communicate and teaching them the daily living skills. It's the same wiring, and every ordinary moment in your day is a chance to connect it. Now, the whole secret is actually just two things: being consistent and coaching each step. That's it. If this video shifted how you see those everyday moments, share it with a parent who needs to hear that the small stuff actually counts and can help support and build their communication ability. And subscribe, because I'm here to help you understand the why behind your child, not just the what. So for this week, just pick one thing, coach it step by step, break it down, and watch the wiring start to connect. Thank you, and I will see you on the next video.